Triangle Sum Theorem, this is a review of Part 4. In today's lesson, students will find the sum of the three angles in a triangle given an isosceles triangle. Given a what? Very good. So let's start by reviewing an isosceles triangle. What type of triangle is this? Isosceles. How do we know that? Well, we have some congruency marks for both of the sides. Both of the sides are congruent. Congruent means equal. What does it mean? Equal. Okay? Then, when you look at the angles that are opposite of the sides, so I'll just draw some arrows. This angle is opposite to this side, right? It's across. And then this angle is opposite to this side, so it's across from this side. So in an isosceles triangle, there are two, what type of sides are these? They're equal. What's the word for equal in geometry? It's congruent. Good. With two equal blank angles. Where are these angles in relation to the sides? They are opposite. They're what? They're opposite, which means they're across. Okay? So two equal opposite angles. All right. So now I'm going to give some values for some of these angles that are inside of the triangle. So I'm going to say, you know what? This, I don't know what it is. It's x. If this angle is x, what's this one? Are they equal? Yeah, they're congruent, right? Okay, so if this is x, then this one's x. And let's just say that this angle is, let's say it's 80 degrees. Okay? 80 degrees. How would I figure out what x is? Well, the problems that you're going to see are just going to have x and 80. So first we need to mark, just like we did, x for the equal angle. Okay, so those two angles are equal. These two sides are equal. So then we will set up an equation. This equation means that if I added all three of these angles, what would I get? X plus 80. What do three angles in a triangle give you? 180 degrees. Okay, so how would I solve an equation that looks like this? Well, do you have two x's? Yeah. So you have to combine like terms. What do you have to do? Combine like terms. So that's the very first step. So to find what x is, you're going to notice that you have to add the like terms. When I say combine, that could be add, it could be subtract, but in this case, it's add. So let's do that. What's x plus x? Let's pretend there's a 1 in front of this x and a 1 in front of this x. How many x's do you see? 2. So we're going to get 2x plus 80 equals 180. Great. So what do you do now? Can you solve this equation now? Yes. You would make a t. I'm going to ask that you circle 2x. So what do you do next? You have to do what to both sides? Subtract. What are you subtracting from? From 180, right? So subtract from 180. Good. Let's do negative 80 both sides, or minus 80. What is, let's bring down 2x. What is 180 minus 80? 180 minus 80 is 100. Okay, so if we want to find both of those angles together, they're going to equal 100, right? And they're both equal. So what do we have to do to both sides? Divide by what? Divide by 2? Yes. So last we want to divide by 2. When we divide by 2, I'm asking you, what is half of 100? Half of 100 is what? X is 50. So we have, this is 50 degrees, and this is 50 degrees, and this is 180. And together, they make, and when you add them together, they make 180. 50, 50 plus 80. Go ahead and get that down. Okay, so let's take a look at number 1. We have an isosceles triangle because there are 2 congruent sides. There's what? 2 congruent sides. What we have to look at is the angles, and it's asking us to find angle X. Okay, so here is my question. How many angles are there in a triangle? 3. So we only have 2. We have to find the third. Do we already know the third angle? What is it? If this is X, because it's the angle that is opposite to the side, what is this one? What do we have to do? What do we have to put here? It's equal, right? So this is going to be what? Yes, it's going to be X. Okay, now we have all 3. Once we have all 3, what is the triangle sum theorem? They all add up to be what? 180, right? So now we can figure out what X is. So we're going to say, we're going to just take all 3, we're going to set them up in our equation. We're going to say X plus 72 degrees equals how much again? It equals 180 degrees. Perfect. Okay? Now, what do we have to do next? What do we do with those X's? Combine like terms. What's X plus X? It's 2X, right? There's 2 of them. So 2X plus 72 degrees equals 180. Easy. What do we do now? Make a what? Make a T, okay? Great. It might help you to circle 2X because that's what you're going to bring down. What do we do first, though? What's the opposite of positive 72? We're going to subtract or do negative 72 from both sides. All right. So cross off the 72s, bring down that 2X. What does 2X equal? What's 180 minus 72? 180 minus 72 is, did you put it on your calculator? What is it? It's 108 degrees. Okay, now we have one more step, okay, because we found 2X. We didn't find X. So what do we have to do to both sides? Divide by what? Divide by 2. Awesome. So 2 divided by 2 is 1. Put 108 divided by 2 on your calculator. What is that? It is what? 54. Good job. 54 degrees. Meaning, okay, now I've found that this is 54 degrees, and because it's an isosceles triangle, and these 2 angles are equal because they're opposite of the congruent sides, this is also 54 degrees. Go ahead and get that down. So let's take a look at the isosceles triangle for number 2, okay? We have that this is an obtuse isosceles triangle because it's 100 degrees. This is X. Okay, we only have 2 angles, right? What's the third angle? What's this one going to be? Okay, remember, this X is opposite this side, so this angle is opposite this side. What's this going to be? X, yeah, just looks a little bit different. So let's set up the equation. We are going to take all of those 3 angles and add them together. We have X plus 100 equals 180. Awesome. All right, so what do you do first? Say, combine like terms. Say it. Combine like terms. So we're going to combine the X's together. What's X plus X? It's 2X. Great. Bring down the 100. They all equal 180 degrees. Okay. So then you solve this 2-step equation. The first step is to do what? What should you do to both sides? You should subtract 100, right? Subtract 100 from both sides. Okay. The hundreds cancel out. We're going to bring this 2X down. So 2X is now going to equal 180 minus 100. What's that? 180 minus 100 is, you're just left with what? 80. Great. And then, now we didn't find X yet. We found 2X. So 2 of these we know are going to equal 80, right? Because 100 plus 80 is 180. So what's just 1X? What do we do to both sides? Divide by 2. Awesome. And what's half of 80? Half of 80 is 40 degrees. Awesome. So that means that this is 40 degrees and this is 40 degrees, right? An isosceles triangle. Go ahead and get that down. Now look at the triangle in number 3. Is it an isosceles triangle? Does it have 2 equal sides? Yeah. Does it have 3 equal sides? Yeah. So it's also equilateral. It's what? Equilateral. So equilateral triangles are also isosceles because if it has 3 equal sides, it also has 2 equal sides. Now, you might know already what each angle is for an isosceles triangle, for an equilateral triangle, but let's just say this angle is x. Okay? Let me ask you, you have 2 angles. What's the third angle? What are you going to write right there? Do you already know it's 60? It's x, right? Awesome. So we have 2 equal angles. Remember, they're opposite of the congruent sides. 2 equal angles, 2 equal sides. So let's set it up. We have x plus 60 degrees equals 180 degrees. Awesome. So let's combine like terms. What's x plus x? It's 2x plus 60 degrees equals 180 degrees. Awesome. What do you do next? Make a t to separate both sides of the equation. That's why we do that. Okay, we can circle 2x. We're going to bring it down. What is the opposite of adding by 60? Subtracting. We want to subtract 60 from both sides. Great. The 60s cancel out. Bring down the 2x. Now 2x equals, what's 180 minus 60? Minus 60. It's 120. So I know that if I add x and x together, they're going to be 120. I want to find out just what one of those angles is. So I need to divide by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. What does x equal? What's half of 120, or 120 divided by 2? Is what? 60 degrees. So we know that in an equilateral triangle that is also isosceles, that each one of the angles is 60. 60, 60, 60. Go ahead and get that down.